What's going on, guys? I got my boy Chris in Nevada here. He's mad at me. He said, "Man, listen, I got a tight schedule, guys, so we only have about 5 or 10 minutes today." Chris, what's going on, man? What's going on in Reno?
What's up, buddy? Nice and early. What's going on?
Yeah, man, it's 12 o'clock here. We've already been halfway through the day. So, hey, so wanted to ask a few questions. I've had several people ask, who is this guy, this Chris Nevada guy, this Drewsgo guy. So, I wanted to take a couple minutes today and kind of share a little bit about your testimony. Real quick, you obviously helped me get into EXP. I do want to chat a little bit about that on some of the reasons why that you chose EXP. I know we have our, a couple of mutual, reasons why, but, I wanted to share a little bit so that the people can understand, who they work with, the power. For me, I just had a conversation with my team today. It's not the rev share, it's not stock, it's none of that stuff. The power that we've had, the growth that we've seen is our network and the influence and the coaching and stuff like that. So, if you don't mind, man, share a little bit about your story and your testimony and how you've got to where you're at today. I think you guys are on pace to do 250 million this year.
Yeah, I was just looking at it yesterday, actually. So we're about 220 million right now with 10 months into EXP. So we got 2 more months to go. So we're going to come up with we're averaging about 20 million a month right now. So we should crush our 250 goal for the first year in EXP, which is pretty amazing.
Do you know how many teams that have accomplished that in their first year?
I don't know.
Probably a small little percentage.
It's interesting too. Someone always said, "Hey, what's your goal? How do you plan? How do you do this?" It's, for me, it's just waking up every morning, going to work, right? Doing the grind, doing what you're supposed to do. And
Sure.
Good things will happen from that. You were talking about why we came over and different things like that. We talked about a lot, right? That we surround ourselves with like-minded people. Some people want a big business and some people want a small business. It's all up to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so tell everybody, you haven't always had a big business. Walk through. Some people know a little bit about your testimony, some people don't. So walk through, just a synopsis of where you've been in your business, and maybe just a short, synopsis of how you've got to 250. Because I'll be real, if someone were to tell me that I could accomplish 250 million. A couple of years ago, I wouldn't think that that's realistic. You weren't at 250 million and all that, not too long ago. So how have you seen the success that you've achieved, but also, tell everybody a little bit about your backstory on how you've got here.
Well, how much time we got, right? So, I've been in the business for 10 years now. I started in Alaska, a small little town, crushed in my first year, about 80 deals. After that, it was kind of like, hey, what do you do? How do you get bigger? I mean, I'm working myself to death. They were like, build a team. And I said, well, how do you do that? Right. So I started building a team there, small little town, average price 170. And I was like, well, this isn't very fun. I got to go to the big city. So up in Alaska, I went to Anchorage and started building a team there. Did well there, but we were always around about a $30, $40 million team. It's very seasonal in Alaska, right? Very cold. So I said, you know what? I'm done with this. I was in the Navy. I like to travel. I wanted to move. So took a look at a couple places on the West Coast and decided Reno would be my next venture. And that was basically exactly 4 years ago. So I moved to Reno 4 years ago, started a team. In the first 6 months, did about 20 million. Then the second year we did 70 million. Then we went to 130 million. Then last year we did 170 million. And like I said, on this we're on track. Well, at least for the last year, 1 year with EXP, we'll do about 250 plus. So
what are you tracking? Because you're going fiscal. What are you tracking to do from January to December this year?
Hard to say. You know what I mean? We're halfway through the year. I mean, we'll still be 200 plus. It's like anything else, especially with real estate, what's going on right now, lack of inventory, stuff like that. We're still crushing it, doing well. But we'll still be on track for a 250.
And so you said you started with 20 million first 6 months, you got to 70 million, 130 million, 170 million. So, I mean, a pretty significant growth. I mean, anywhere from 20 to 50% growth year over year. How are you doing that, right? Especially, it's easy to go from 5 million to 10 million, right? Or from 20 million to maybe 30, 40 million, but to go from 20 to 170 in 3 years. I mean, that's ginormous. What would if you're talking to someone, and I've got a couple of teams that are rejoining us within the next couple of weeks. If you were to give them a little bit of advice, what would that look like so that they can just scale that or at least double their business?
Yeah, funny you asked that. I was actually interviewing a team yesterday, talking with them, and they're kind of asking the same thing. And it really comes down to people see the growth in Reno and they go, wow, how did you do it so fast? They don't see all my failures that I did up in Alaska, right? All my little teams I had there. I had probably three separate teams, basically there, 3 different locations. And they don't know all those failures. So when I came to Reno, I already had failures. I didn't have to repeat some of those mistakes. But I would say the biggest thing is building a really great team with culture, right? And when you lock in about 10 people that are like-minded and your solid core, you can now build around those 10 people and attract more people just like them.
Yeah.
I mean, success still comes from my team. Without my team, without my, these guys, we wouldn't be where we're at, right? You got to protect that team culture. So
culture, and we actually just got out of our leadership meeting this morning, right before we did this. What would you say outside of culture, and it sounds like people too? What does your ops division look like? For me, that's been a big growth, and that's helped us get to where we're at. Walk me through, maybe the structure from going solo agent to team to, let's just talk let's talk today for the next couple minutes on just how to get to a $50 million team and what that looks like structure wise.
Well, listen, here's one thing that, if you're going to build your team and you're going to get to there, pretty much every morning I wake up is like, how are you going to give more value to your team? What more can you do for them? And your ops team comes in part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need your team to be out there, doing the best, their highest and best use of their time. And that's out there showing homes, helping their clients, writing offers, right? Mm-hmm. So I support with, social media, transaction coordinators, right? Start with one. Mm-hmm. I have 3 now for my team.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a director of ops. I have a sales manager. Like, you need to add all these other pieces in and keep on giving immense value, and sharpening that stone, right? That's that sword for them so that they can do better. So, just giving more value every single day.
Yeah. So I know, I was terrible at bringing in ops people when I first started, and I always struggled between that 20 to 40 million mark, right? I never accomplished more than 40 million. And last year, my ops team went from 1 to 2 to 4. Now 5, we got to 5, 6. Now we're almost to 10 people in our organization. And so for me, what I found, every 4 to 5 agents, you need, one type of support person that you're going to have. I don't know if that is the same for you guys, but that's kind of what model that we're working with. What's the direct correlation? So I'm guessing to do 20 million, you're doing 50 deals a month.
Yeah, right around there. I think month to month it varies, right? My average is a little bit higher here in the Reno area, So, but we're usually closing around that 50 mark.
And so when you were closing, let's call it 20 deals a month, what would you say the biggest driver? You've added a tremendous amount of value. You've added, social media people and transaction coordinators. But what are some additional things that you've done to transition from that 20 deals a month to that 60, 50, 60 deals a month?
Well, that's just adding more team members, right? All right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to add more team members, but you're also you're allowing your team to grow itself, right? So we use Workplace Chat for us, right? Which has been instrumental as far as our culture, finding out who your leaders in your team are, who's stepping up, who's helping. I don't even have to chime in. I have so many little leaders on my team. I have multiple people, and that just goes back to the whole culture piece, that my team just wants to help other people. They want to help everybody. It's like our team meeting, we do gratitude starting off, right? That
Mm-hmm.
can go. I asked for 3. I only want 3. In my last team meeting, we must have 20, 25. Like it keeps
Wow.
going. And that's
Wow.
just because of team members helping other team members, stepping up. And it's just a great place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Listen, I know we're coming up to our time. So one nugget that you would give away that's been really impactful for you over the last 4 years, what would that be? What's the most valuable resource that you've gotten in the last 4 or 5 years that's helped you get to where you want to be today?
Yeah, here it is. Surround yourself with successful people. You're going to see that doors and opportunities are going to open up, that when hanging out with those successful people doesn't mean much to them, right? They're going to just give that opportunity to you. It's up to you to grab hold of it and walk through that door and do something with that opportunity. So, you know the type of people we hang out with, the people we
Sure.
surround ourselves with. We
Yeah.
travel, we go, and we do these events, and we mastermind, and we do all that stuff. So, look at that big guy coming behind you there. So,
Dang, we're on a Facebook Live. Let's say hello, Facebook.
so no, on a serious note, you need to surround yourself with successful people. Period. People say it a lot, but you have to do that. You need to have a big open mind and big thinking type of thing, and all that stuff will happen. Just naturally will happen. People that you can reach out to. So when you have hurdles and struggles and different things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many times do we talk a week, right? So
10 times.
Yeah. You know what I
mean? Someone just called someone like an old married couple or something like that in your background earlier. So I literally, what's crazy, so we're coached by the same person, but I told one of my agents this. I said, you're going to have to become a new person. If you're going to elevate to a new goal or new aspirations, you're going to have to change who you are as a person. And it's funny when you surround yourself with like-minded, but people that have a little bit more knowledge and education, and you get that, your level of thinking, your personality changes. It really does. Like I've had to change the way I think on a consistent basis to get to where we are today. So, man, I'm super excited, Chris. We're literally less than 2 months from actually getting to link up and have you and Gil out in Knoxville. You got anything to tell these guys that maybe wanting to come out or wanting to check out the model within our organization?
Yeah, no, just show up. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about it. Try to poke holes in it. I dare you, right? Let's just have some fun. Show up, and it'll be a good time.
Right on, man. Listen, buddy, I appreciate you. I know you got to get back to it. You got a meeting. Till next time, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Later.
See you.